Hi everybody, welcome to Pafford Homestead. I'm in the kitchen today. It's a beautiful Sunday day and I am going to be making homemade Cinnabon cinnamon rolls. Yes, it's one of those days to where it's just a cinnamon roll type day, especially when you dream about them. So for this recipe, the only thing that you're going to have, well, it's quite a bit, but the only stuff that you're going to have is 2 cups of warmed milk, a half a cup of sugar, 8 tablespoons of unsalted melted butter, 1 pack of the yeast, 5 cups of all-purpose flour, but you're going to start with 4 cups, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, and 2 teaspoons of kosher salt. Now that is just for the dough itself for the cinnamon rolls. We'll get to the filling and the icing when it comes time. So let's get started with everything. Welcome back everybody. Okay, so I got all of my ingredients together so I can get it ready for the initial starting of the dough. In a large bowl, you're going to want to combine your, we'll whisk together, I got my whisk, your warm milk, and the milk needs to be warm to the touch. So if you touch it and it's warm, that's good. If you touch it and it's cool, pop it in the microwave just for a little bit, or put it on the stove, warm it up. Just make sure that it's warm because you want to activate the yeast is what you're going to do. So you're going to want to put your 2 cups of milk in a large bowl, and you're going to put your half cup of sugar, and 8 tablespoons, 1 stick of unsalted butter melted. You're going to whisk all that together really good. You're just going to allow that to cool just a tad, not too long, just while you're whisking. It'll cool. Okay, that's mixed together pretty good. Now you're going to take your 1 pack of yeast, which is 2 1/4 teaspoons. That's all you need, it's just 1 pack. You're going to take and you're going to sprinkle this over the warm mixture. Don't drop it in like I just did. Make sure you get it all out. And then you're going to whisk that together really well as well. Get it all up in there so that it can activate the yeast. And you're going to let this sit for 10 minutes. So I will see you in 10 minutes. Okay, I'm back. It's been 10 minutes now. And I wanted to show you what it's going to look like. If you can see the little bubbles and everything that's in there, your yeast is activated. So that means it's time for our dry ingredients. So what we are going to do is we're going to go ahead and add the 4 cups of flour to our mixture. I'm going to stir in a little bit at a time. And then when it gets to the point to where I can start using my hands, and then I'm going to use my hands. Okay. so I got everything in here, and now it got thick enough to where I can mix it with my hand. And yes, it's gonna get messy, but everybody knows that when they're messing with dough, that's the way the cookie crumbles. You have to get messy. Some people will use a wooden spoon. Some people will use the mixers or even a bread machine. But I like the old-fashioned way. Okay, so it's all mixed together, so now clean off the hands. Put all of the remaining dough in the bowl. Get off as much as you can, and it is sticky. And what you're gonna do now is you're gonna cover it, and you're gonna put it in a warm place and let it rise for 1 hour. So I'm gonna put some saran wrap over it and let it rise. See you in a few. Well, welcome back everybody. It's been an hour and my dough has risen double in size. So what we are going to do now is we are going to okay, I'm sorry, I had to read it. We're going to add the rest of the flour to it, and we're gonna add the salt and the baking powder now, and we are going to mix it all together really well. So I'm adding I just added some of the flour, so now I'm adding the baking powder and the salt. The baking powder was only 1 teaspoon, the salt was 2. And now we're just gonna mix this up really good again. And I'm gonna add more flour, but I'm gonna save a little bit of the flour back so I can sprinkle it on the surface. Yes, baby. Let's mix all this up really good. You want to make sure where you're going to lay your dough out at is a clean surface, and you're going to put you some flour down on the surface. Now, okay, so I'm gonna put a little flour down here because I'm going to now turn the dough out of the bowl. Get all of it out. And I'm going to knead it for about 7 to 10 minutes. So I want to keep flour by so that we can keep the dough from sticking to everything. So we want to knead it. And kneading it, you're just mixing it all up, stirring it up really good. Making sure everything, you know, pretty much gets incorporated into it. This is all of the fun work. I don't know about y'all, but I know my mom, she does a lot of baking and making biscuits and everything homemade. Let me grab some more flour. Making everything homemade, and my grandmother used to do that as well, and we would sit and watch them. You know, early in the mornings they would get up and my mom would make breakfast for my stepdad every morning. It didn't matter what it was. You know, every morning she would be having his breakfast made before he went out to work, have his lunch made for him and everything. So, you know, we learned a lot of our baking and everything from her. And what we didn't learn, my husband taught me a lot, but when the internet came out, I learned a lot from just sitting down watching different people do different things. So it's kind of interesting how people come about with their cooking habits and everything. It's fun to know. But hopefully these just turn out completely amazing. I gotta make another batch today as well as this one, so that I can take to work with me for the girls at work, because I had told them about it. So I was like telling them that I was gonna make some, and they was like, oh, you need to make some and bring it. So kind of opened my mouth. So it's kind of like making bread dough. You know, you just kneading everything together. It gets tiring though. I don't see how the people back in the day would do this all day long. But there's still some people that does this all the time. Like your really good preppers and your what am I trying to think of, pastry chefs and stuff like that. Me, I just could not do it. No way. I could not do this all the time. Not a good thing for me. Once in a while, I'll get a wild hair to make these. And that's the reason why I have to keep looking at my recipe, because I only make them maybe once or twice a year. So I don't exactly remember how to make them. But I like the Cinnabon recipe because to me, they're more fluffy. They're not as dense as regular cinnamon rolls are. So okay, I've been kneading for about, let's say 7 minutes. Okay, it shows, and it is, sprinkle it. There we go. Put some on this side. There we go. Now we got our ball. So we are going to now roll out the dough. So I'm going to move everything around, add some more flour out here. Okay, I've got my rolling pin, roll it around in the flour a little bit. And now we're going to roll it out into pretty much a rectangle. As much as a rectangle as you can get it. Which I don't do good with designs or anything like that. If I don't get it into a rectangle, you know what? It's okay. It's all eatable, right? The way I look at it. Oops. So we're going to roll it out until it's about 1/2 inch thick. I still need to roll some more. You're not going to roll it like as thin as pie dough. Yeah, we're not going to roll it out as thin as pie dough. And I don't know about y'all, but I think everybody has different techniques for rolling. I know some people like to use the electric rollers, and I've seen them used before, and I've seen them on the internet. And to me, it's just, it reminds me too much, the dough, their finished product reminds me too much as the thickness of a noodle. So I think it's more or less not really a dough roller, it's a noodle maker. Sorry, I knocked a hole in it. So we're almost done rolling it out. Do a little bit more down at this end. Okay, so I've got all of my ingredients for the filling. So what you're going to start with is 12 let me turn my camera. There you go. 12 a stick and a half of butter, 12 tablespoons, I'm sorry, 12 tablespoons of butter. Okay, we're going to do 3/4 cup of brown sugar. We're going to do 2 tablespoons of cinnamon. One, 2. And we're going to mix this all up together really good. So let's get this all mixed up really good. Oops, look at that. I'm just throwing it everywhere. Get it all incorporated. telling y'all, I am a messy chef. Real chefs would not allow me to work in their kitchen. Once you get it all mixed correctly, we're gonna start spreading it on what we just wrote out on your dough. As you can see, it's all pretty much incorporated really good. There's no, you don't see a lot of just one ingredient piled up everywhere. It's all pretty much smooth to where you can spread it out. So that's what we're gonna do now. We're gonna come over here to the dough that we wrote out. We're gonna plop some on, and we're just gonna spread it out all over. You want to get it everywhere, because as you know, you can take and roll it up. And cinnamon rolls, their cinnamon flavor is throughout everywhere in the roll. Now, after you put this on, some people like to do like a jelly fill along with the cinnamon. So you can take your jelly fill after you do this part and put your jelly over the cinnamon, but you don't want to take that like you would the cinnamon. You don't want to put as much of the jelly as you do, or fruit flavor as you do the cinnamon. Okay, so we've got it now to where we have all of our cinnamon and butter and sugar mixed with it, spread it out, and it all looks really good. I used the whole mixture. So there we go. That little bit back. Let me wash my hands real quick. Go. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna start rolling. So here's the initial start, okay? So now we're gonna just roll it up a little bit at a time to make sure it all, you know, rolls up pretty much evenly. There we go. Now, we have a long row. You want your seam pointed down to the bottom, okay? And what we're gonna do, we're gonna trim away the uneven ends. So let me get my cutter here. Trim this part away. And trim this part away. Now you can cook these ends. Just take like that, and all it does is just you know, it's just a small with a lot of dough, but it still has a flavor, so you can cook the ends. So now what you're going to do is you're going to cut each one. It says to cut 8 centimeters, but I just do the way, however thick I feel I want to make them. I like big, fluffy cinnamon rolls is what I like. Now you should already have your pan greased up and just setting aside, waiting for the rolls to go in. So I have my rolls cut, as you can see. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to place these in the pan, and then I'm gonna put a towel over them and let them rise again for another 45 minutes. And what they're gonna do is they're gonna expand double capacity. So I will see y'all in 45 minutes. Okay, everybody, so my rolls are ready to go in the oven. Let me show this to you. See, they doubled in size. So they're to the top of this pan. And when they cook, they're also going to expand. So that's what makes it the big, huge, fluffy, soft rolls instead of the small, dense little rolls. So I preheated my oven to 350 degrees, and we are going to bake these cinnamon rolls for about 25 minutes. While you bake the cinnamon rolls is when you start the frosting. So let me get these in the oven, and I'll turn right back around and we'll start on the frosting. Okay, so I got my timer set for 25 minutes. So for the frosting, what you're gonna need is 8 ounce pack of cream cheese. You're gonna need what did I just do with it? My powdered sugar. I forgot to get it. So you're gonna need 2 tablespoons of melted butter and a cup of powdered sugar. Let me open this powdered sugar up. Get a cup of it out. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and open up my cream cheese and put that in here. And what I do with my cream cheese is I let it get soft so it's easy to work with. Put that down in there. Get me a spoon. You want all that goodness. Okay. So put your melted butter in on top of the cream cheese. And then put your powdered sugar in. And you're just gonna mix all of this up to where it's all mixed together really good. And then you're just gonna place it to the side, and whenever the cinnamon rolls come out the oven, you just put them on top. So we'll be back as soon as the cinnamon rolls come out of the oven to get this frosted. Okay, everybody, so the time has come. I've taken them out the oven. I've let them cool for 10 minutes. So now we're going to frost them up. Look at how, see, I told you that they would rise when they're cooking. So they are up over, well over the edge of the pan. So these are some big, huge cinnamon rolls. So let's get busy frosting them up. So when Charlie comes back in, he can taste them. What did I do with the frosting? Oh, here it is, right here beside me. So, as you can see, the frosting came out, you know, pretty good. There's no big lumps in it or anything. I stirred it all together really well. But what I did forget to tell y'all to add was 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract and 4 tablespoons of milk. So I added that after I shut the camera off because I had just totally forgot about it. So, sorry y'all. So when you're making your frosting, make sure you add your milk and add your vanilla extract. Don't pull a me. Get that frosting good and over every little nick and cranny. Don't worry, you're gonna get some. Yes. The more ooey gooey frosting you put on it, oh my goodness, it's so much better. I don't know if Autumn's gonna like it too much because she's not really big on sugary items, which that is a very, very good thing. Yes, Autumn. Really? You did all of that mommy, mommy, mommy just for oomph? Wow. Okay, so we got them good and frosting. So now all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wait for Charlie to come back in before we do a taste test. Because if I do this one without him, I know he's gonna be like, you just left me out. So I'm gonna wait for him to come back in and I will be back. Okay, everybody, I'm back here in the kitchen. Everything is all plated up. Look at how beautiful that turned out. Charlie is running the camera. He is behind me. And yes, he is gonna taste it too. Get him a piece cut, get me a piece cut.
Golly, how big a piece you think I can take?
Very light. The perfect amount of cinnamon. The sweetness of the frosting is great. It's not heavy like normal cinnamon rolls are. It's light and fluffy. So it's very good.
Not real sweet.
Not too sweet. So I think Charlie says yes too.
Look at this, y'all. Look how much it rose above the bacon
dish.
dish.
So, out of a 1 to 10, what do you give this recipe, Charlie?
A 10.
A 10? I did it again, y'all. I got a 10.
That way you get to eat more.
So from our kitchen to your kitchen, stay safe, be blessed. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, ring the bell, and give us some thumbs up.
And watch more videos.
Watch more videos. Love y'all. Until
Love
next
y'all.
time. Bye-bye.
Bye.